words and language to disassemble it, George Orwell is rolling in his grave.
Internet is a disruptive technology, and disruption is a potential for innovation. In my view, intellectual property is having a change forced onto it. It does not want to change. It wants to impose its will on the internet. This is the battle. I think, and this is something that I hear Max Kaiser saying in very specific ways of ending copyrights and so forth. I don't agree with that. I think there needs to be a change so that people can have some type of an ownership and present it. But SOPA is not a way to do that.
Exactly. What's going to happen is they're going to try to apply souped-up old copyright to new technologies and actually discredit any type of copyright in and of itself. I mean, it's going to be, folks, it's going to get crazy, and you're absolutely right. Very great points. Thank you so much, sir. I concur with your expert analysis that God knows what he's talking about. Okay, we're going to come back for this short segment, the next, then I'll get to the rest of your calls. Aaron Dykes is in here with me. I want to get into weaponized bird flu, and then that leads us into a bunch of other areas. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. Stay with us. Okay, Aaron Dykes is in studio with us. And I've talked about this topic some in the past, but it's been back in the news lately. Here is a headline, an engineered doomsday. And then we've got another one here from ABC News. U.S. blocks publication of research on highly contagious bird flu strain. And it says scientists have long worried that an influenza virus that has been ravaging poultry and wild birds in Asia might evolve to pose a threat to humans. Now scientists, financed by the National Institutes of Health, have shown in a laboratory how it could happen. In the process, they created a virus that could kill tens or hundreds of millions of people if it escaped confinement or was stolen by terrorists. Just like Foot and Mouth in 2000 got released in England by the government. They later had to admit that. They claimed it must have been terrorist. And then within one day got distributed to hundreds of locations around the country. No, the government did it. And it goes on. We nearly always champion unfettered science research and open publication of the results. In this case, it looks like the research should never have been undertaken because the potential harm is so catastrophic that the potential benefits from studying the virus is so speculative. And it goes on to break down the weaponization of the H5N1 to where it just kills the vast majority. This virus in birds kills over 90% of the birds that come in contact with it. Now, here is, again, that I was mentioning, the ABC News article, but when this hit the Chicago Tribune, ABC News, Associated Press, it was, oh, the feds blocked the publication. Isn't that nice of them? Of course, it was the feds paid for it, if you read deeper. And so my point is you've got 36 level 4 bioweapons labs. Now, that's supposed to be 3 stories underground. It's supposed to have minefields around it, electrified barbed wire fences, armed guards on the top with machine guns. Minefields. Minefields. Instead, they've got level 4 everywhere. It finally hit the news out of 36 they built since 2001 after the government launched the anthrax attack. It was a government strain, not made in a bathtub. It's come out even in corporate whore media that they've tried to frame 3 people, and the next patsy they grabbed died mysteriously in custody. They never mentioned that they had a stomach full of pills while in the psychiatric ward they took him to that day. One way to make sure a patsy doesn't expose that he's a patsy, just kill him. And it's since come out that that was a staged event. This is a government that ships guns into Mexico to blame the Second Amendment. I mean, wake up. The government is also, they go into this, dug up the dead bodies of whalers from the 1918 influenza in the frozen tundra of Alaska and other areas. They've weaponized that. Been talking about that forever. And then I've got other articles here out of CBS News and others. Mousepox superbug test riles. AP. CBS News carries the AP. And it says they were given a federal grant created to genetically engineer mousepox virus designed to evade vaccines and to sterilize the rats. They wanted a vaccine that sterilizes them, but instead it kills 99% of them. Go read all this. Underscoring biotechnology's deadly potential and stirring debate over whether such research plays in the hands of terrorists. You mean the globalists that run our society? Here's another one. Mousepox and bioweapons. Australian scientists tried to create a strain of mousepox virus that would cause sterility in female mice. What they created was a killer virus that vaccination could only partially control. The research has prompted fears that the strategy could be used for the development of biological weapons. Gee, you think so? They claim BioShield is to fight bioweapons releases, but what it's doing is creating them. Airborne mousepox you can make for any mammal, 99% kill rate. Airborne Ebola, 90+% kill rate. Airborne H1N1 mixed with bird flu, 90+% kill rate. We're talking about you and your whole trendy family dying if you're an establishment lover. All the trendiness ending. And the globalists just go in their underground bunkers with their seed vaults and all the rest of it. And this is all they ever talk about. Once the world government's in place, once they've mopped up the few sovereign countries that aren't under their control, China's under their control, forced abortion, infanticide, all of it. Once they've got Iran and Libya's mopped up now, and Venezuela, it'll be mopped up. Once they're all mopped up, once the global police state's in place, they're going to have some smaller bio-releases, so you learn to do whatever they say, and they'll have the cure for you. Don't worry. You'll be sterile, of course, from the cure, but that's a side issue. Then once they've got you fully tied down, this is their master plan, we've reverse engineered it, then they kill almost everybody. We'll document it straight ahead. So, there are countless documented quotes, and we're going to go over some of them here in a moment with Aaron, with the head of the vaccine program of the Army, with the government developing the Spanish flu, talking about exterminating humanity, killing the individual. There are literally thousands of these quotes, all public, and that's why Dr. Pianka, one poster boy we're going to read quotes from here in a minute, from the speech he gave with a standing ovation with the Texas Academy of Sciences, where he's talking about eradicating the population, and they're all crying. It's like such a sick power trip. This is their religion. You're not given the PhD. You're not advanced. You don't get the book deals. You don't get the grants unless you're one of these people. And they've got the majority of them now. And they are, most of them, very unintelligent, very addled, but they are people that are into humans being trash and garbage. Because I guess they look at the rest of the world through their own eyes of what they think of themselves, what they are. But don't speak for us, pal. We're not garbage, okay? Incredible species that gave us Beethoven and the space program and all the science and the beauty. You just keep your hands off our humanity. If humanity's so bad, kill yourself. Keep your hands off us. And Pianka about bisphenol A and how cutesy it all is. See, they all just do this and see us as a bunch of sheep and think it's funny. So, the feds don't want this weaponized bird flu that they hired universities to create talking about it. But they also don't want you talking about how they're doing these in level 2 labs. I mean, a level 2 lab is just to swipe a card to go into an area. And they supposedly wear gloves and masks. Oh, that's really wonderful. So it's this beyond laissez-faire attitude. It's your tax money paying for all of it. And here are some of the reports, and they're saying an engineered doomsday. That's what they're doing. Our government, our criminal government, has spent more than all other governments combined on military to protect America. In quotes. They say they've done all of this. They've spent more on underground bases. That's on the congressional record, but then everything about the bases is secret. Switzerland, for a tiny amount compared to it, has underground bases with a 2-year food supply, water, power, grenade launchers, machine guns for their entire population. They have armored redoubts for nothing compared to what our government spent per citizen. And they've all got underground bases for nuclear war, everything. Everything. Our government has spent more per capita than any other country, and other countries combined, And I grew up in Dallas, and it's still there. You go in those underground parking garages, it'll say nuclear fallout zone. You're supposed to go in there with your family and sit there while you all die of radiation poisoning and the globalists come dig your skeletons out later if they feel like it. Or they just say those are the catacombs. This is what national security is. Evil took America over. It got us to accept giving up our liberties to fight the commie evil or the Muslim extremist evil. All these things they protected and fostered and used. And they've got all these articles about, thank goodness the feds are stopping, the publishing of how to make super death. Oh, it'll kill 90+% of you. Oh, it's airborne. Oh. Meanwhile, you go research everybody involved to head up each one of these universities and government. This is the stuff you're being told about. Are all wild eugenicists. You just type in the scientist's name and you'll get wild quotes after it, how they want to kill everybody and how bad everybody is down the line. Again, these people go give speeches to their colleagues, and the more you talk about killing people, they're standing ovations. Oh. This is what they do. My dad, top of his class in high school. By the time he was a junior, part of a federal program, taken to UT, given test. The top of those people brought in, told it's eugenics. You're going to be part of the elite. And he was like, no, thanks. It's not that my dad was even that special. It's standard. That's why you get up in front of a group of them and say, we're going to kill everybody. And they're like, yes, kill everyone. Oh. Okay, but this is who they are. I know it's crazy. They're crazy. And when you study it, I mean, Aaron's been here now almost 6 years. And I'm like, look into eugenics, look into it. And he's one of our specialists here in it. The problem is it's endless. You can never find it all. It never ends. The books they publish, the sickening statements, everything they've said and done. And what they do is they stage the physical terror attacks. They hype up SARS and bird flu, things that are no big deal, because the actual treatment is what is altering your immune system, altering your DNA, that has the carrier viruses and other things in it to manipulate you and to lower your immunity. That's all admitted. And so their plan, and this is covered in Endgame with the quotes and documents, is to get a world government in place, lock down all of society, and then release progressively worse bioattacks that they pose as the saviors against. Terrorists, because they know medical tyrannies, that's how Hitler started. He was just one of their little spinoffs who was going after one group. They're like, no, we go after everybody. In fact, that's the speech my dad was giving. It was, Hitler was wrong the way he did eugenics. We're applying it across the board. And most people are told, you're top of your class, you want to join us? Most people go, oh, yes. I mean, these are some sick freaks. And again, I didn't even know about this with my dad until my mother came over one day to the office on like a Saturday or Sunday. It was a ballet recital for my daughter, who was like 3-4 years old at the time. I was still at the office finishing Endgame. My mother watched about 30 minutes of it, and she's like, this can't be true. And driving in the car, my dad, then relayed the story of what happened to him. But you don't have to believe that. Go look at all the quotes and find out this is the religion. This is the cult. This is why they think of you as sheep, as cockroaches, because they're the ascendant humans. You're the trash that has to be killed. So they poison your food, your water, your culture to make you what they already say you are in a self-fulfilling prophecy. Because they're stunted, and you run into these globalists. I mean, they're really like crazy and weird, and their minions are always real stupid but think they're real smart. And up top, they're pretty darn smart, but they're also devoid of something. It's very machine-like. And it's the oldest form of war to take over and to actually just get rid of your opposition. It's called genocide. Now, Aaron, you've got big stacks of these quotes here, and we've gone over some of this mousepox news. But here's another one out of the National Post. Creating a super contagious mutant version of bird flu may have been a bad idea. World Health Organization warns. A group sworn to determination. Here's another one. Avian influenza report. Going over all of it. Influenza, a virus subtype of H5N1. Project BioShield. Authorities, appropriations, acquisitions, and issues for Congress. Frank Gordon. They passed it in 2002. This is the new one, 2011. Billions more. Not for biodefense, but to create the stuff they put in your vaccines. All of it, slow kill. So 20, 30 years down the road.